You might think that because this is a course on productivity hacking, I'm going to teach you how to do 10 things at once and to speed things up that way. In fact, this isn't true at all. While the next lecture will deal with how to use multitasking effectively and responsibly, I want to tell you that 80% of multitasking is in fact destructive to your productivity and work quality. You can probably make assumptions about the effects of multitasking on focus, and that dividing your attention across 3 tasks has a high cost in terms of efficiency and work output. No surprises there. But did you know that when switching between microtasks, there's a distinct period of confusion and disorientation before you can re-enter into the focused state? We're going to talk about this more in our upcoming lecture about focus and flow. But for now, I want to give you an example you've probably experienced before. Imagine you're filling out a work-related form and you're fully focused. You're in the zone until someone calls you on the phone. This has surely happened to you, and you've surely experienced the feeling of settling back down after the call and trying to figure out where you were in the form. It may seem like it only takes you a few seconds to pick back up where you left off, but if you're performing some kind of high-functioning task, in fact, it takes much longer. For that matter, it's been suggested that it can take as much as 15 minutes to get back into the optimal performance zone. This is to say that while our brains are very sophisticated at maintaining tons of different threads of thoughts at once, they're far less effective at doing so than we'd like to believe. While you may pride yourself on being able to listen to a podcast, answer chat messages from customers, read your emails, and chit-chat with your colleagues in the office, the reality is that each and every micro shift you're making is costing you productivity. Whether that means needing to reread the chat message from a minute ago to remember, to ask your coworker to repeat something they said, or to rewind the podcast a little bit. These hiccups cost you a lot of time. Not to mention, the quality of your work isn't nearly as good. Instead, I would encourage you to shut off all distractions whenever possible, to do one thing at a time, and only one thing. If your coworkers want to chat, put the emails on hold. If you're answering emails, set yourself a deadline, like we discussed earlier, put on headphones, and put on some non-distracting music to make it clear that you're focusing. Set your phone to do not disturb, and just get the emails done. For activities that require your mental acuity, multitasking is about the worst thing you can do for productivity. So give this a try, stay focused on one task, and see how much more effective you are. You might find that it's really hard for you, that your brain has learned to love jumping around. I found this to be true when I started meditating. By the way, meditation is a really great practice to get into because it helps us train our brains to focus on one thing at a time. And it helps us understand how impossible that has become in our culture of constant multi-sensory overload. If you decide to embark on a journey of meditation, which I strongly recommend, you might be shocked and disappointed to see that you can only focus on something as simple as your breath for 1 or 2 seconds before getting distracted. The beauty of meditation is that it simultaneously teaches you to improve focus while training you to accept the monkey mind and avoid aggravation. In fact, it turns out that a great majority of the world's most productive and successful people in the arts, business, government, and more are all avid practitioners of meditation, from Oprah to Tony Robbins to Bill Clinton and even Paul McCartney. There are literally thousands of top performers who claim that a huge part of their success is owed to the focus they gained from meditation. So I strongly recommend you check out some of the links I've provided. It's a surprisingly difficult thing to do, and most of you will say, I'm just not someone who can meditate. But trust me, it's well worth the effort if you're willing to tough it out. In the next lecture, I'm going to talk about how to stack activities now that you understand why micro-switching is such a bad idea and so counterproductive to your output and work efficiency.